Hello. This is the Trapped Motion Show. Why does it sound like it's different? Well, it's also the Medicine Woman Solution Show. Hello. And some of you may notice a different backdrop, and that's because, well, I have one. And I'm also going live on other platforms. So bear with me. I'm excited that this is a new part of my uh, show. And the new part is that the trapped emotions, I talk about emotions all the time. I have for years believed that it was important that we feel like we have safety, security, stability, sanity, serenity, and space, which is freedom. And for me, it is important that we dive into the fact, can you be in charge? Can you change? Can you take care of the situation? Instead of just coping, handling, dealing, pacifying, managing, regulating, and pushing it down, overcoming all the ways, all the different ways that have a person try to figure out how to survive emotions. And then the emotions affect the mental universe, the thoughts, and the way we create our reality. Well, we're not going to talk about all that like I usually do. We're going to be talking more about like emotions to get us a foundation about what emotions are. And then towards the end, I will do what I always do, and that is to invite you to come in and to do some type of healing or working with me or getting a reading. So that's what we're going to do. So you'll notice the backdrop's changed. Hi. And I am also trying it out on Rumble, Twitch, Facebook. Should be streaming on my personal page. I forgot about that. I also have it, I should be streaming on my business page, but I didn't think about that until just now. So, emotions, kind of grasp your mind about it again. You know, you feel them, right? And then once you feel, you react. So, the question then falls into are you in charge of that? Or are you just a victim to always feeling that way? Always feeling, I don't know what you want to call it, that the reactions. Hi, can you see me on Twitch or Rumble? It says it's live. It should be also on my personal page. And I'm also going to, um, I guess I'm going to have to go live this way. Ever since that, the energies, the field dictates what it is that one begins to live life, be about life. And as you are doing it and you're doing your best, there is this part of you that has to decide who's going to be in charge. Now, the past, it was to be wrapped up in the emotions with over identifying with matter, to feel it, to be it. And do we really need to be that? Okay. The trapped emotions, this is a podcast as well as going to be seen in many other places. This is a more down to earth way of communicating because I have spent and dedicated over 30 years, depending on where the starting point is, of observing, taking note, working with your spirit. And my old show, which is still quite active, Medicine Woman Solution, but it's called Medicine Woman Solution Classics on YouTube. But I'm breaking it down so that each platform is different. But I feel like it's time now. It's time to talk about the very thing that I always talk about, but more into simple terms. But it is the information that I feel that we need to start supplying to our children, to our selves, and to waking up to creating a new divine matrix. Because we have the divine matrix, but we also have a matrix that's made up of the collective of this is what we're supposed to do and think and feel and be. Now, the emotions are magnetic. And so you're bringing in experiences, and each part of what I teach is going to be something that's important for you when you're ready to make a big difference in your world. Okay. What does that mean to make a big difference in your world? You need to know that you are independent and that all of those emotions that made the words that you're not good enough because somebody was showing an emotion and expressing their world and you were exposed to feeling and you were left to your own devices as a child. Now we're learning that first 7 years of your life are super, super important. And then by the time that you get to be at least 13, when you have the hormone stage and you start to break away a little bit more as a human being, we still don't know what we're doing. And I just remember that when hormones come in, holy moly, it just felt like I felt crazy. I felt more anxious. I started copping an attitude. So hormones play a big part of your emotions. So when I'm looking at life, if you want to say, I'm looking from the observer point of view. And as I learn to observe what I'm watching and I'm seeing, not just I'm living my life, I'm feeling it and I'm thinking and I'm living outside myself. I'm not really present. I'm inside a program, which since the womb and since my soul, I have gathered and chose a theme. This is where I'm going to grow up. These are the people I'm going to be around. And then as you begin to soul grow, you begin to wake up. And this is the era of time that is about what are you going to do? How are you going to do it? And you're thinking, oh gosh. And if fear comes in versus love, well, that brings out a whole host of issues. So I break it down and I came up with 39, what do you want to call it? Stressed patterns. And I'm laying them out and I'm grouping them into 4 categories. These are all the things that I see and observe. And I watch how people have 100% life force. And my education is important because it came from listening to the greats before me. And some of the greats that helped explain what I'm seeing and help explain way my brain operates was Carolyn Myss. And when she was talking, I think it was energetic anatomy or something like this. And when she was explaining the energy cords to the event that happened, so you keep investing your life force. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I jumped off the couch and I had to block off my family that was in the next room. And I had to put in, this tells you how old I am, um, VHS tape in the VCR to record that she was on PBS. And I'm like, that is how I see. It was, oh my God. So the emotions of the excitement that I had information that I could stand with conviction now to what it is that I I know people don't see quite like I do, but at the same time, everybody sees like I do. We have just, you know, we just forgotten. And so then I started to learn from Dr. Dispenza. And this is his early days when his one book about the brain was so big. And I loved that book. I carried it around like a Bible because it talked about the brain. So, and then Dr. Bruce Lipton and about the cells and the belief systems. And this is right up my alley. And through the years, all these experiences, I developed my protocol sheets. And, you start off with reams and of things, and it's like, okay, that's a lot of reams. But at the same time, I whittled it down to like one page. So the words are really tiny. It needs to be on 2 pages if you're going to read it comfortably. But I've learned that everything filters through the emotions, but we also have the emotional body. And this is an energy field that's dedicated to emotions. And it's a magnetic field. And the more you study, you find out the field dictates what it is that you see and you experience. But you get to decide within 90 seconds of you experience an emotion if you want to add commentary to keep fueling the emotions. The question is, do you want to? I Once I learned I got 90 seconds to decide, I started noticing it is the choice point of emotions. Well, wait a minute. Can we actually do something about this? Can we? Can we? Yes. Then it went into traditional Chinese medicine, um, the pulse points, Donna Eden. Then I find out she studied from about that as well. And I'm like, oh my goodness. And so everything started to form. And so you have a foundation and a foundation. And my foundation has been super strong that I'm quite impressed with. Wow. I mean, my brain is like, did that just, yeah, yeah, what? No, maybe, yes. And you're going to be present. Who's going to be present? What age are you that's going to be present? And that's usually backed by the emotion that has the narrative. Your brain is constantly scanning, the amygdala is constantly scanning for all things that you've experienced in the past. And, so what are you going to do? How are you going to live life? And I learned that the more present that you are, the more you are going to be able to, this is interesting. It says that I'm streaming here. Anyway, the more present that you are, the more you'll be able to read and pay attention and help be in charge of what you see. So even though it says I'm on and I'm live streaming over in Rumble, it says it's supposed to go live on my personal page. I'm looking at my personal page and I don't see me. Now, it's also supposed to go on Twitch, and I don't know if I'm missing something or if there's another button. I can even take colors on Rumble. Oh my gosh, this is a new avenue for me, and I'm loving this. So I'm being present with the interaction with the environment on the outside. Now, when my sensory system, my eyes scan, it's like it says I'm live. So why is it that I don't see it? So if you happen to be in Rumble, look for the trapped emotions. You're not seeing you anywhere than the normal ones. Okay, so Rumble, I'm missing something. So I'm becoming aware. This doesn't have, I was about to ask if you're live on Twitch. Yes, Morgan, you know that more than anything. Look for the Trapped Emotions podcast. So I'm looking and being present. Now, my brain is not trained anymore because I have worked with the emotions, the chemical peptides that tell me that I have a choice, that I can go into fear, into worry. And so you can learn how to change your lifestyle, the way you think, and how you magnetically attract things in. So right now I'm bumping up against parameters, which you would call failures or flops. But in this case, I'm doing something I've never done before. And I don't have to be in the emotion of fear that says, oh, look, she's an idiot. These people are going to call her name. No, that's not where I live. I don't live outside myself. Now, according to this, share on one app. Well, I'd like to share on one app. How does this look? Now, it's weird because choose an app to share. Oh my God. I don't know what that means. So I'm looking that it says that I am streaming, and I know that it's supposed to stream out to these others. I got that far. I can't use my phone over there to ask AI. So I am share the link. Waiting room participants, invite participants, require approval. So if I shared the link to, I'm going to share this link to this person and this person and see, and I'm going to share it here. We're going to see where this goes, and we're going to figure this out together, but I don't have to do that narrative that everybody else does. I don't have to, oh, that's not the right one. So yes, um, hmm. So I pictured it as a presentation. Select layout is missing. Auto layout is in use instead. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Dismiss that. Do you know what's happening?
No clue.
Do you see me at all?
No.
Okay, but the point is, this is an issue. The issue is learning how to do it. And so I have an assistant. Okay. So this is where you just be present. And so I'm on Rumble. I went live, but it isn't broadcasting. My brain is trying to tell me in fear that this is not what people just come here to watch. But yes, you are. You came here to watch how life itself, oh, like the OBS is not successfully sending data, incorrect stream URL. Okay, so this may not work on those platforms, but that's okay. I am on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok. Somebody says they want to join my stream. AI Visualize wants to join your stream. How funny. So this is as far as I get. So somehow it's not launching.
So okay, that makes sense because I went live on that one night and there's nobody.
Okay, but can you help me figure this out real quick? So she's just going to sit here and hopefully not get blinded by my light. So let's get back to the fact that my emotions. How would you respond if you're live and everybody is staring at you? I could have one person, I could have two, or I could have 10, or I could have 100 or more. So why am I not feeling embarrassed? Well, I used my tools and healed it up. I tried streaming on Twitch. Oh, you're in that. Okay. Tried streaming on Twitch for the first time last week with a game, and somehow I managed to get 4 viewers. Good job, even though there was no commentary. So these are steps. But when we do these things, how many people go into the emotion of insecure? And then you got 90 seconds to decide if you want to add meaning. Because the right brain is emotional and the left brain is meant to put meaning to it. But if you are living in fear or you're not being present and you're not choosing to be in your fixed state of consciousness, then you can be all over the place with many, many ways of being. And none of those are wrong. None of those are wrong. So, oh, do it again. Do it again. Okay, so a I thought that said AI visualize that totally makes sense. Yes, yes. Could you see me? Now it's supposed to be, it says it's live. I'm doing this for 20 minutes. Now look at this screen. Tell me, take a picture of that and see. So I got two wonderful assistants that are helping me manage this. And okay, so see, when I hit share screen, share one app. When you're sharing it, you read it, and then if it's canceling next, hit next.
Yeah.
And then I don't know what that is. That's,
Choose.
I think
That's
it's,
sharing your screen. So no.
oh no, I don't want to do that. Okay, so that's wrong.
Um,
Well, I hit solo, that's solo. And that's as far as I got. I finally got to see me. Not sure what that's about. No, it keeps saying access denied. Oh, okay, because that's because I denied it the first time. Shoot, he was able to do that. Maybe you should go talk to him and see if you can get in through another way, because now when he tries to go in, it access denies, because I thought that was AI.
okay.
Or
Instead of AL.
yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah. It's actually ale. Oh, this is fun. Okay. Getting back to those that are listening, being present. So I don't feel those particular emotions. It's not because I'm disconnected. It's because I'm more integrated. You have an emotion, you got 90 seconds of this chemical peptide, this emotional chemical peptide. Boom, 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 boom. And it is, oh, I can feel it and I can let it tell me, which is I feel, and then I put a thought, which is being my left brain putting a meaning to the feeling. But the left brain is only supposed to give it meaning. Now, if you're not in charge of the left brain or the right brain, and you're letting the body or life or programs to be in charge and be the thing in present, not you, then you are going to be run by programs. You following me? So somebody says, I know that it still feels weird to have people watch me. So here's the thing, when you're feeling and learning, watch what you write. Not in a paranoia, but you're looking at like, oh, I know that it still feels weird. Okay, so you look at weird. And what does that mean? Uh, so when it's you measure it, how do I know it feels weird? And that is you learning to be present and saying, here's my emotion coming from my right brain. Now, the left brain, if you are not in sync, where the left brain and the right brain are supposed to communicate, and this is where separation really plays a big part. The left brain then gives meaning to it based on a lie. so that the left brain doesn't know that the right brain is doing. And there was an experiment about 1978, and I can't remember who did it, but they cut the two hemispheres in half, and they showed the right hemisphere the word walk, and the person got up and walked. Then they asked the left hemisphere, "Why did you do that?" And the left brain couldn't communicate with the right, so it says, "Oh, I was thirsty." That's not the truth. It gave it meaning. So being present and what they call mindful is that I'm choosing to be the age I am right now, my name, and I'm being observant of the emotion, and I can sit in the choice point. So when I can read the commentary, like Morgan said, I know that, or Davin, I know that it still feels weird. Now, it's the knowing that can be measured. How do you know? Is it a 0, a 2, all the way up to 10, 10 plus? The higher the number, the more dramatic the emotion will be. Now, if you put left brain to the emotion and you're not in charge, the left brain is going to say, oh, in fear, this is bad. This is bad. Or because it's feeling the left brain so you feel, and then you have to think about how you feel, and then you feel and you think about what you feel, and you are firing and wiring. And if left brain is in charge, it's not going to understand why the right brain experienced it that way. So the left brain is going to pull up monkey see monkey do mirror neurons. How did everybody else emotionally respond and react to this? How? And so again, Morgan, you're gonna look at this, or Davin. Okay, she's on both screens using both things. Um, and so so she says, it felt weird. So her right brain said it felt weird because people are watching me. So she's looking at how this feels weird, and the um, observing part said, ah, this objective reality is happening. My subjectiveness is that my left brain is saying, this is weird, because she felt, and her left brain says it's weird. And then to understand and to overcome or to accept that weird feeling, she says, and I have people watch me, especially in Fortnite, since random people can spectate me, and I always think they expect me to play good. So notice how the R, is it right temporal junction parietal RTJP, and this is a part of the brain that you start developing around 2 or 3. And as it starts to develop, it's to think what other people think. Now, when you feel their emotions, not necessarily their words, because everybody can read other people's minds to some degree. The emotions that are in the field, the emotions that are present, and if you're not paying attention, you'll think they're your thoughts or your insecurities or as you observed from 0 through 7, the time of the womb all the way up to the age of 7, is your first experiences and the first ways you reacted, the first ways you solved. You watched how other people did it, and you connected to those that, oh, I can do that. So how do you cope, handle, deal, pacify, regulate, or manage your emotions? And when an experience happens outside, you can, 1, react, 2, don't even know it, and there's another one, I forgot, but there, you can have many different perspectives, many different ways to react or to respond. That's up to you. So, how do you, whether you're a program, your brain scanning, your amygdala scanning, or you being present and I am 59, I am Brenda, and I'm being present. And I don't have to believe the BS, the belief systems, or the bullshit that comes in through emotions, and they could be somebody else's entirely. And if I don't know this knowledge, then I'm going to be a victim because I'm going to think about those feelings that could be emotions that are not mine, but I watched how my mom react. I watched how my dad react. I thought they had it all together. And then as I got older and I'm like, gosh, I don't have it together. And you start to realize our parents didn't either. Nobody's got this figured out. And it's high time that we begin to figure it out. So, how emotions turn into a mood. Okay. How do emotions turn into a mood? Now, what I'm trying to figure out again is it's coming back to my mindfulness that this says it's live, but it's not showing me anything. It's not broadcasting properly. And so I'm not sure what to think about this. Oh, that's not what I want. It's got good visual effects from what I can see. But how does it actually work? And no live chats. It's because no one can find me. It says that it's doing it. So this is this a fail or is this a parameter, a bumper? So again, can you see how as I'm doing something I've never done before, doing it live in front of people, why aren't I doing the insecurity? Why aren't I shaming myself self or guilting myself? What else could I be doing because I'm looking at the parameter of learning? I could be manipulating myself, gaslighting myself. I could be feeling shy and timid like I used to be when I was a kid. But why am I not? And that is because I took charge of understanding with knowledge and choosing to use like the success hope tool, OMG, EFT, source point tools that moved the energy. So it disrupted that the emotions and the left brain that's saying this is what it is. And then when you come with the meaning and the emotions are like, really? Oh my God. And back and forth. No, you need to be more mindful. You need to be in charge. And so what does this mean? What does this mean? Now, just by accident, I just pushed a button and now it's taking me to other people's live stream. And it says, get premium to avoid the ads. It's like, no, I want to be able to do my podcast. I would like to see. So it's like I'm still learning. So I know that even though I've gone through, what do you call it? Rumble's Studios. Maybe that's where I did a boo boo. No, Rumble Studios is right there. So somehow I'm missing a Kodak. I'm missing a piece of information. And that's okay. My experience, it reminds me of the first time I launched my website. Ah, I can tell you, I worked very steady. I worked very steady at, oops, um, getting all the content, getting all of it to look perfect. My website was to look perfect. And oh, I was so nervous. I mean, this is the first time the world gets to see me. I'm like, oh my gosh. And I'm like petrified. I'm not sure really what to say or do. And oh, check that out. Well, isn't that unique? I can actually go live on another account. Well, maybe this will work. I'm going to try that. I'm going to hit this. I'm going to use this account. I'm going to stop this one. So how many times should I keep going? So when I finally decided, okay, launch, publish, push that button, I was in so much panic. I was in so much anxiety. I was in so much fear. Oh my God, I had not enough knowledge to know that people, it's not just going to pop up and on everybody's screen. Okay. Not just, but what are you going to do? And so I sat there and I was in a lot of fear. And I didn't know really what to think. And I didn't really know what to do. And I'm like worried that I spelled things wrong. Um, I didn't have a lot of confidence because we didn't have AI. I did my best to write. I wasn't very good in English and my grammar and my spelling. And, it shows where my education came from and where my background is and, the slang. And I'm walking around for hours. And then finally it was like, okay, I'm gonna go try to find myself. So I had to get over myself. So I go to look, can't find myself, can't find it anywhere. So now I have to do some investigating, learning, and researching. And what came out was I only published it to my desktop, not to the rest of the world. And I'm laughing and I'm laughing. And the laughing, of course, subsided the fear. And I'm like, why did I have to fear so much? So then I started to notice and measure, is it true that I have to? And I really started to dive into different kinds of tools to get me to where I'm going. And so, you know, I was just pretty impressed with myself. So I was happy. I was happy that I didn't go live, but at the same time, I was also happy that I had that experience. And I like, was it necessary to have that experience? Because the questioning started coming in. No, I could feel, wow, was that really necessary? And I'm like, nope, it's not. It's not necessary at all. So think about it. How often do you follow that feeling? You got 90 seconds to make the choice of what you're going to do. You got 90 seconds. And what are you going to do? Well, every time I could just be mindful. I could just, okay, I can either go in fear or not fear. I don't have to have fear. Fear is not my operator. Fear is not my, it's a choice. And I can feel the chemical peptides, but that's when you start to focus. And this is where you can just go, nope, nope, nope. Even though I'm focusing, nope, 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 nope. Shh, zip it. Boop, zip, zip. You can use different ways. Use a rubber band to distract yourself. Snap your wrist. But you get to make the choice. I never knew that. I never knew that. And it really got me because I thought I should have known that. I should have known that. But that's the lie. No, I shouldn't have known that. I hadn't even known to look at that. I was not educated in that. So why should I have known that? So these beliefs and these thoughts that come in, why should I have known that? Why should I have known that? And all right, where did you think when you asked your parents a question? Hey, mom, dad, what's this about? Mom, dad, why is the sky blue? Hey, why is this? Why? Why? And if they didn't know the answer, what would be your response? What would be their response to give you your response? So if they didn't answer, maybe you felt you were unheard or rejected or not loved, or you don't know how to interject. Or they'll turn around and say, we should know that. You're programmed with words, gestures first, then the tone. You should know that. But when a person, oh goodness, when a person is in the state of insecurity, uncertainty, when a person is in a state of fear and they can't recall how they know certain things. So if Amy could come in here, that'd be great. I want to show her something. Okay. So I'm going to give you this, and I can't do it on my big screen. I can if I put them all together. But hey, Amy, how did you learn that when you ask questions?
Um, I learned that you just kind of go with the flow.
So when you asked your parents,
I would get chastised. I would get, they would throw me under the bus because they didn't have the tools.
okay, so when you asked them a question they didn't know, they would say, you should have known that.
Yep.
And so you take that and you brainwash yourself and say, I should have known that. But is it true? No,
No.
not by a long shot. Okay, so I'm going to have her look at that. And I think I know what it is because it's browser, even though it should work through the browser on the phone.
Have to send it through an OBS.
Yeah, I don't have an OBS on there. So, because look at the choices there. So emotions. Here's the parameters. I don't know this. I don't shouldn't have known this. No, I am learning. And that is the most beautiful part is that I am learning. And we may not do it at all today, or we may play around. That is up to us. My audience, you're here. Have you learned anything by me having this discussion? By watching how I'm living, breathing, walking, talking, and dreaming and imagining it, am I showing you that another way to respond, another way to live, another way? And I hope so. I hope you were able to decide and to look and to say, hey, now, do I do? Yeah, right now, if somebody wanted to, I do still take and do readings. So 5, 15, or 25. If you would like a reading, I can help you understand your emotions. Oh, there's a new thing in town. That's odd, Amy. Because now in TikTok, as soon as I go to want to turn it around, the option's not there.
No, it is. It is.
They moved it. Okay, sounds good. So you want a reading, just remember you always use the clock that's behind me, just happens to be sitting on the other side. We use that time, hopefully, that you'll be able to see that on YouTube. And on YouTube right now, it is broadcasting just to Medicine Woman Solution. And instead of my other one, podcast one. But I'm also creating a new website that is about the trapped emotions. And so if you want a reading, it's 5, 15, or 25. It depends on what you want to address, what you want to heal. I help you get out of a certain emotions. If you're feeling a certain way, we can measure it and I can show you how to use your hands and you be the tool to help you process through. So, whew, feel like it's hot here. Let me get to the right screen so I can see my audience. Hi, Vicky. How are you? Angela, good to see you. Not sure if everybody's still here. But it's good. It's good to have you. It seems quiet. It seems like there's more and more. Is there more and more stress in the United States? You craving tea? What flavor? Because sometimes smells will trigger you and your taste buds. So if you watch somebody and you're using your sensory system, you will salivary glands will go, I'm thirsty, I'm hungry. And then all of a sudden you have to think how you're feeling. Okay. So I think it's somebody's birthday. Vicky, are you still here? Hi, today's crazy. Would you like a little reading for your birthday? I feel that that's one thing I can do. Devin says, I think I just want regular sweet tea. I'm always eating gummies. So that might be why. That could be it too. Who knows what influences? Who knows what influences? Okay. Ooh, all right. My watch is telling me I need to get up and exercise and move. Now. Okay, she said yes. So, Spirit, I asked it, and it says, you're learning something about helplessness. So let's just take that word for a moment, okay? Oh, it's crazy in the US. Well, that's what you're feeling. I asked, okay, so if she's feeling and it's programmed and it is broadcasted and it's in the field of the collective that you're supposed to be helpless and that you need to be saved. Now, here is a phrase that I've been working on ever since the Lionsgate, and it's basically sums up everything that when I'm teaching. And it says, and now I say stop. I put this in front of it. Giving away, give your power away to be saved. And I thought, we do that? And so pretty much every day, I watch how, this is where the 39 stressed reactions, besides, hey, fight, flight, freeze, there's a whole combination. So I found out 39 of them. And how you solved from feeling unsafe, insecure, unstable. These are your basic needs. When I didn't feel like I feel like I'm going insane sometimes when not not like these days, but in the past, I'd be around people, and so here they are. They're like won't admit that what was just said. "Ah, I'm not doing that," and so they won't say that. They'll just turn around and gaslight you and be and act a certain way. And as I look at the past, It was to scramble me so they could save themselves. And I'm like, oh crap, I can see how I did that too. So, oh, all the vector here, there, here, there, everywhere. So, Vicky, if you are wanting a reading, I will give you one because it's your birthday. But helplessness, and if I take the statement, how we're programmed by society, by religion, by the news, by TV programs, movies, you name it, we're still programmed. And living over here versus living in the USA, I can really see how people are. We're going to play this narrative. We're going to get them to think this way. We have to see there's an enemy. And you come and I'll save you. Give me all your power. And women are meant to rise in the right brain, but we are meant to come back as more wholeness, not a scattered mess. So we're coming back to unification. And that means the left brain, the right brain, the yin and the yang, all of that works together. And so I would heal out. I have to give my power away to be saved. Well, where in the world did I believe that I wasn't safe or secure or stable or serene or sane or have freedom? And I noticed that I was a people pleaser versus how the rest of the family chose it. And this was the safest route because I was rejected. I was the stages. I was supposed to be exposed to my parents, and then my parents split up and my mother had to go to work, and so I was raised by other siblings and kids that are raising kids, and not blaming anything. I'm just like, well, wait a minute here. There are things I didn't know that I need to begin to learn, and I need to grow out of. So as I look at Vicky, and Vicky has said yes to a reading, I'm looking at the meridian of the stomach, and it is meant to help you be grounded. But I am watching how your feet, the energies at the bottom of the feet, are not like creating roots into Mother Earth. I feel like I'm startled. And you know how when you startle, you're like, oh, you jump out of your skin. And if you were a cat, your nails would be in the ceiling and you'd be hanging there going, oh, what was that? What was that? And I feel the amygdala, the part that scans and looking for triggers, is feeling that, oh my God, people are they're using the word karmic debt. In this case, it is, oh my God, bad things are going to happen. Um, all of these things. And so then all of a sudden it's like, I am going to have to behave. Now, this is a very strong emotion in a sentence form that says, I'm going to have to behave like that, which means you don't have the freedom or the power of choice, but it is a way so that you can resolve whatever the emotion was. And I said, so why did you feel that you had to, I'm going to have to behave like that? And they said, because the startle, it was all about somebody in your space was always compelled to correct. And you observed this, and about 4 months old, you, oh, you monkey see, monkey do. And and so then you would feel this energy, a certain energy that would come in, and your brain says, oh, wait, hold on, hold on. That's learned helplessness, and that means we have to do the next logical step is to, I'm going to have to behave like that. You already knew the orders. Okay. So you will vividly recall and relive a particular experience. Vicky, does this make sense? So I said, so do we heal the startle? No. We have to heal the habit. We have to catch ourselves because we're in an arrested development, meaning we're capped. But if we show to be mindful, feel the feeling, and don't believe that narrative. Just, okay, 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 Angela. So your birthday's the 27th. I'll give you a reading too. And so you following, Vicky? Because what I'm looking at is there's a whole bunch of impending doom that's tied in the environment you were growing up in. And this impending doom invades you. Now, you don't know what that is, but you can feel it. And your body, your brain, your amygdala scanned. Oh, wow. And then it picked it up. You made some chemical peptides. You felt it. And the first time, we wouldn't know how to resolve it. Yes, I got wondering how much I got from mom because she was an epileptic. Oh, yeah. You know what? When you had a bad experience, you don't want to experience them again. I swear to God, I didn't want to give birth again. Okay. Didn't mind being pregnant. It's just the birth thing. I don't want to fall and break a finger. God, I know what that's like. I don't want to do it again. And you're kind of like, but you're picking up. So there's a certain amount of impending doom. And you can pick it up from your last life, or you can pick it up in an experience that you just had years ago in this life. But, and I said, did that experience, what you just described for your life, is that influencing the impending doom? Yes. So your spine had, okay, so your spine, I have to look because, see, I asked, pH is the physiology. Okay, so I'm going to look at the physiology. And one of the things I'm going to look at is the spine. Your spine has a lot to do with the way the brain sends signals and the way the body sends signals. And I said, so the impending doom is actually coming from the body to the brain. And so I said, okay. And they said, yes. T11 is the adrenals. So in the thoracic, I got a really crappy picture here. I don't know if I've got a good one. But in the thoracic, in your spine, in the back, T11, so it's like just beyond your hump. This is a really crappy picture, Brenda. Oh, here's a better one. Still not big enough. Okay. It's gonna have to do. Now, let's see, you're on that screen there. So T11 would be right there, right there. And T11, I want you to take, because it's like you have to reach up that way. This is where I would tell you to grab, and I don't have it there, something long and something like a hairbrush you can use, um, or a back scratcher, or even a comb, and you are going to hit. Now, you're going to breathe in and you're going to put your hand up here. Now, I want you to tap the best you can on both sides of the bone of your spine. And even if you hit, don't hit too hard, but T11, and you're going to, so as you do that, your adrenals are saying, oh, I'm stuck on. And if I said, okay, so why are your adrenals stuck on? And it is this, I reject this out of my reality. So you have impending doom, but you also have, I reject this, I reject that. So you have two things that are going on. So feel the impending doom, focus it, I reject that. Put your hand up here so you're touching the governing 20 and the 2 points here. Then you're going to go breathe in and just start tapping that point. Like I can't do it too much because I'm got a chair in my way. But you're going to hit it a few times. Breathe in and out a few times. And we're disrupting the signal at that point. And when you do, let me know when you're done, and then I will remeasure where you're at. Okay. So your adrenals, I asked if they're stuck on, and they said yes. but the scalar field, which is the shared experience. So are they on when you're sitting by yourself? No. It is when you begin to, the physiology says the adrenals would kick in when I'm expanding myself. It's like, hi, I'm Vicky and I'm expanding myself. And oh, very good, very good. That's good. We've got the disrupt. So as soon as you start to expand yourself, this breathing, this, and when I feel that when you're expanding yourself, it's part of that helplessness, part of those programs. And then, because what does it mean to expand yourself? You're putting your energy into the field. And I said, when you did that, when you expanded yourself, they go, oh, about 4 months old, I was beginning to, I don't know, crawl or do something, and your energy was expanding, then all of us, I think you experienced an episode with your mom because it got your attention. From what I can feel of you being a 4 month old, it got your attention that the person that you're supposed to rely on and care about and that takes care of you, you experienced a reality. I think that's why you're startled. And so you associated that with because I'm expanding myself, that caused. So are you taking the blame? Yes. But it sits only in the scalar field. How interesting. So the strongest I could feel was around 7. And this one, it was because it was a habit and you felt such an invading energy you didn't know that you were feeling. And so you became very timid by it. I said, so what was it that you were feeling? You were feeling, okay, you know how a dog, I'm not trying to say you're a dog, the last one she had was 9 months, when I was 9 months old. She could have had one when you were much younger and you didn't know. Last one she had. Okay, so you know how a dog can sense when their owner is going to have an episode of one thing or another before the person knows it, and that will guide them to sit down and to breathe. And well, I feel like you, because it keeps saying scalar field, I feel like the field was telling you in that shared space, you were aware. You were aware. Okay. And I said, so with that knowledge, so can you recall when you felt, oh my God, it's a language, right? So your body, and I'm going to say, I want you to start to remove the chemical peptides that began to mark how you know, but you did it by learning through fear. We want you to get the knowledge and the wisdom without having to lose yourself in fear. So you're going to be doing right wrist, third position, nice and soft. Why I always try to keep my mom safe. Yes, because you, no matter what age you are, from what I can see, your 4 month old was what? And then I don't want that to happen again. So you would have behaved that way of having to what? Show up. I need to save her. So if you're like, oh, okay, I'm losing my mom. I have to save her. I have to be there. So I feel that very strong, and this became the habit. Now, is your mom with us today, or was she passed? I don't know. All I can tell you is your body has not settled down since 4 month old. And again, your adrenals are fine until they're around certain people. See, and I can feel the whole physiology of the stress. And again, I'll be glad when I can really write out those 39 stress things and then communicate them with you, and we can break them down. Yes, she's here. Okay. That's why I was just checking. I put a call out. I didn't get none. So that's fine. That's fine. We'll figure it out later. Thank you for taking the time to help me. I appreciate that. And we're getting one step closer to having it solve these issues. Yeah. I thank you again for joining me. It is very beneficial. You being here gives me the reason to continue on. I like to hear your feedback. I'm so glad that you're able to heal. Now, Angela, are you present? She says, I understood and learned a lot from Tribal last Monday night. Awesome. About giving your power away was very interesting. So, Angela, let's just have a little talk. The question then, when you began to notice it and you could see that you were doing it, could you feel how the body was in auto response while you're connecting with your higher self in your heart and spirit saying to you, can you see it? Not that it's bad, right, or wrong. It is, can you see the natural, and it's not natural in a healthy way, but how automatic program you are now experienced at the age you are now, how you solved it, the first solving. So, Angela, are you present? Before I continue to keep talking. So, like I said, this new part that I'm supposed to go in is the Trapped Emotions podcast, and I'm looking for several different places. Once I figure out how to do Rumble, then I'm going to be able to do it on Twitch, Rumble, a few other places. And this is the route. I am supposed to take all of the knowledge that I have collected in these 30 years and how I've gone from knowing nothing to really advancing to knowing a lot to now putting it in practical, everyday communication language because I've learned how to understand all of it and to change so I shouldn't have to have an interpreter interpret what I'm saying. I should be able to say what I need to say. Does that make sense? Yes. Okay. So Angela, she's probably busy. I'll wait until she comes back. And we'll go from there. Okay. And the phone I gave her to try to do Rumble was my own phone instead of my other phone, which I then put it on Facebook. So that's probably one other reason why it's not going to work, because it needs to work officially on that phone. Unless I can broadcast differently. I'm not sure. We'll see. Because I know YouTube is the lengthwise, and I think the Rumble is also the 16:9. My website is still Medicine Women's Solution. And that's SOLUTION, how you'd normally spell solution. I am most to move farther away from the mystical and into the practical, because everybody needs this, but nobody needs it. But it's writing a manual for living and understanding that the words that are being used don't have to stay in the mist. It is taking everything that was castles in the sky and bringing it into a more of a solid foundation. So you will learn how to live in as mindful, as learning the difference between the mind and are you living outside or inside? Hi, Shorty. It's up to you. Again, Angela, are you present? Let me know. We can play an important role in our own life instead of just being a bystander, instead of being a victim, because as of August 8th was Lionsgate. We have looked at the 4 archetypes and the emotions that go with those 4 archetypes. And we are supposed to get the wisdom now and change the way we show up. So we're working on victimization. Spirit had me come up with 21 questions. And I really feel like these 21 days, you may need someone to walk you through this. So it's like, do I make a program? What do I do? There's Angela. What do I do with these 21 days? And I haven't decided yet, but I do know that what came out of Lionsgate was this class. Because we have to redesign these 4 archetypes: the victim, the saboteur, the child of many faces. And that's not just one. And the prostitute, which you become less than. So the Trapped Emotion podcast is to help you understand that everything that we do in life filters through the emotions. We can be in charge of those emotions. It's not about overcoming, and it's not about suppressing. That don't work anymore. It still work to some degree, but you still have the root. That's the problem. Oh, thank you. Oh, Shirley, thanks. So get ready for a whole new facelift for Metaphysical Solution, because I am in my second Saturn's return, which is to wake up my soul further, and how I created things. Now I have to uncreate things. And one of the biggest things, and Angela, pay attention, that I created, and no matter what stage I was in, you always create. And then when all of a sudden your soul is saying, oh, no, don't apologize, sweetheart. I'm just saying, pay attention, because what I want you to know is that you're in this stage, sweetheart. So everything you've built to survive, your soul is saying, I want you to become alive. So that means we have to undo or change what we built. So when Spirit said we have to change the name Medicine Solution, SOULTION, I'm like, really? My brand? And then Spirit says, well, look. I said, okay. So I did not really second guess. I changed it. And so then that means that it had to trickle down into everything. Changing the YouTube, changing this, changing that, changing. Okay. And so it was like, whoa, now I'm here. And so I did not realize I needed to change. So I was changing over my name, my domain name, onto my old website, and it wouldn't happen. And I could not hear with the whisper that Spirit says, you need to get a new website. Couldn't hear it. So I had to go, happened again, roadblock, this. Oh, then it threw me in a tizzy. I feel like, oh my God, nothing's working. I got all these things. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay. So I said, what do I need to do? And Spirit goes, okay, cue the husband, comes in. He starts saying, blah, 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 very supportive, leaves. Spirit says, did you hear what he said? Yes. I sent him in so you would hear it. Yes. So I said, okay. So I looked up a few things and then found, which I couldn't find before, but now this time I got the answers. I found 2 websites or 2 places that I could do this. And so I began to go in that direction. Oh my goodness, I cracked my phone. I don't know how or when, but I got a big old crack. Don't remember dropping it. And lo and behold, I not only had a new name, and now I got a new website. And as soon as I agreed to that, everything started to rearrange itself into my favor again. So sometimes you have to have the most emotional bitch slap in order for you to wake up and pay attention a little bit more of what you need to change, what you need to do. And then I'm sitting there in dread and I'm like, I didn't even notice I was in dread. Peanut buttered and sour. So good. Source points, yes, are good to use. Good. So I'll get right with you, Angela. It says, Devin says, you think you'd ever do a podcast explaining Saturn's return and all that stuff? I just do it little by little. It's not my forte to talk about the planetary alignments and getting into all that. My main job is to point out certain things, help you become in charge of your emotions or become in touch with your emotions and start to evolve, start working with your brain. Okay. So I guess the answer is maybe in the future, just a little bit. Miss Angela. So I don't like to ask how old people are, but I will say my Saturn return, they come in about 29 and 59. And I'm right spot, Johnny on the spot, both of them. Didn't even know it was happening until it was way after. If you're completely focused on it, then yes, you're going to be interested in those words. This is why all the stuff I know, I have to put it in a language so it becomes the bridge. So emotions. So here we go, Angela. Uh, I can't even hear. I mean, spirit is saying shame, 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 shame. And you have to be manipulated. And I'm like, whoa. So it's very heavy, it's very thick in your field. And I said, so why does your soul need you to experience the emotion of shame? Because the body got stuck in flee mode. So it's running. And that solved the problem. And the problem was people are aggressive. So the first time that you experienced an aggressive, it was 4 years old, and you ran, you fleed, you were in flight mode. Oh, I got suspended for whatever silly reason there. AI, correct yourself. I've done nothing wrong. And sometimes you need to address the invisible. But your body never had the emotion, was not able to process it out. So it now took you out of joy. You lived in the interrupt of the flee mode. The flee mode was the answer. I'm talking to you, Angela, if you didn't know. The flee mode was the answer to when somebody was aggressive when you were about 4 years old. So again, let's see if we can put it in simple language. Here you are, 4 years old, little Angela, and she's in the environment, and in her environment, there was aggressive energy. Somebody lost their crap. I said, did they direct it? No, they didn't know how to process the experience that they were having, and they couldn't emotionally regulate. So they became more yang, which is expressive. And so they carried their expressions outward. You can carry them inward or outward. And you experience people that express themselves outward. And so how they processed. Angela, I know I'm concerned now. Angela, I am talking to you. There might be a delay in the Facebook, or look at your bar and make sure it's all the way to the end. So you're probably answering 5 minutes ago. So maybe I should wait just a moment for her to catch up with what I just said. And if you just heard it, say, oh, I need to move the little red bar so that I'm at the end of that. Okay. So like right now, I'm making sure I'm at the end. Oh, it made me disappear. I have to hit play. Now it's starting from the beginning. I'll go to the end. Interesting. There we go. So you're at the end. Good. So now I'm going to explain it again. Follow along. Can you understand the simple words that I'm talking about? And I'm talking to all my audience here. Okay. So at 4 months old, little Angela, she's in her environment, and the environment is that somebody, and I feel like it's more, it's not saying what gender it is. It says it was an outward expression. So how they emotionally, their emotional maturity, okay, how they emotionally handle, cope, deal, pacify, and they followed fear, and they how they had their experience, they exploded, and the emotions came out very helpless. um, I feel like one person was desperate. Without you, I'm not going to be able to live. And so I feel like maybe your mom or somebody was carrying that I can't manage on my own, and had this fear. So you've picked up, I'm not going to be able to do it by myself. You probably picked up epigenetically through the feminine line that the era of time is you're not supposed to. A man's supposed to take care of you. It is that phrase, got to give your power so that you will be saved. And I'm saying, stop. We need to heal that out and change that very collective belief. And so you're 4 years old, you're picking that up and you're thinking, that's my life. And then you have that GPS signal that keeps going out, and you keep seeing the same storyline because your soul is saying, can you heal it now? And you don't know this. You just know you feel, and then you follow, and their narrating is it starts following it. It's like, oh, this is what it is. And the left brain's lying to you because it's only picking up what it saw. And now you're living out their story, your experience. And so because we put a lot of life force and invested in this, then you are ordering it every time from the universe. This is what I believe. So you're going to keep doing this, and this becomes what's called a karmic debt, or a spiritual debt, because you're doing more of the same thing as with other experiences. And so this debt, so why is it that your soul needs to see this and experience aggressive people so you can relive certain feelings? Because your soul is asking, can you process it now by resolving the chemical peptide and stop believing in that? Well, that's why we use the tools. Okay. So I'm looking at how your heart is. I don't want to feel this way. And it gets very fanatical of being left, being alone, being and believing that it can't. So you learned helplessness by watching and borrowing somebody else's life, maybe your mother, and the female line of how we're told that a woman can't do certain things without a man, or that every woman has got to be married and do the next logical step. But your heart is just, it goes into that moment. So every time you turn around, don't matter how much you age, you go back to being 4 years old and relive that experience every time. Okay? We can cause you can cause yourself to disrupt by holding certain points so you can get finally resolve and process out that disrupt. Okay? So you're going to need to do and measure. Here you feel it again. You can feel the beginning of it. You can use a progression of your thought of it's starting. It's a high number. So left wrist, first position, nice and deep. It started. It started. And you start to observe there's a feeling. And then you don't have to follow it. Just experience that first moment. It's a 10. And this is where the beauty of the eyes come in a sensory system, and it's a healing tool that's free on my site. And you can be holding like this. Now I'm going to take my hands down so you can see, but I want you to do this the whole time. But you're going to go, so you're going to go up to the upper left. But if you notice that you're looking in one direction, you can look at it. Oh, I'm looking in that direction. That's where it's at. Well, what number is it? It's a 10. Once your brain registers that it's awareness of that, then you can go remove, transcend, let go, and you can move your eyes in any direction and measure it and see if it's there. Now, remove, transcend, let go, look down. And so you have the two uppers, left and right, the ears, left and right, and the two lowers, left and right. And then there's the up and down. And there's whatever's in between. But I will guarantee you know where it sits. And you will, if you pay attention to where you look and you're like, oh, it's right there. Oh, God, you can measure it. Once you become aware, breathe. You're going to have your hand in the heart position, L1D. And you're going to look, and then you're going to measure it, and then you're going to remove, transcend, let go, and switch your eyes. Look if it's in any other place. You can do it as a clock. Start down at the bottom at 6 and go all the way up and around. And you can even go backwards because it operates with left brain, right brain. Hi, Judy. Do you understand what I want you to do? You can watch this over and over. Look at the clock. Right now it's 11:23, but we will have your name and the time that your reading began and the instructions for your healing. Okay? You can do this. Hey, Autumn. So, if you're new here, you can get a free reading. You like that? Good. Now, Angela, just before you even practice, just kind of listen and take notes, write it down. Step 1, L1D. Step 2, how do I know that? And kind of just notice. Step 3, notice where your eyes go when you think about it. Step 4, I found it. No, write down the direction. And then you write down the intensity. And then you snap and say, cancel, clear, delete, or remove, transcend, and let go. Okay. So again, you can write them down in steps. Or you can go to the transcripts after, I think it's 24 hours, the transcripts grow up. You can take that section, put it in AI and say, summarize it in a bullet point. And then all of a sudden AI says, here's your steps. And then it'll give you the steps. Okay. All right. Ooh. So be aware that I'm in a transition because on a solar alignment, I'm ready for that next soul phase, which is that Saturn's return. Can't believe I cracked my phone. I'm not sure how. You are welcome, Angela. So I'm going to check, see if there's anybody else. And now I'm going to go and you are welcome. Looking for, I'm on the wrong screen. So give me a minute. I have to go over to the right screen to get, yeah, there we go. Yeah. So you'll notice the backdrop's changed. You'll notice that I'm closer. Not sure how long that's going to work, but I'm just taking and following my Saturn's return, learning to listen on a whisper, and asking Spirit to show me a different way besides the emotional negative drop, is AKA the bitch slap, and we'll go from there. Don't know why it did that. That's okay. That's all right. Let me get to this one and this one. Here we go. I learned this weekend I have wonderful, wonderful support, and I never had that. So I've healed out enough that I can feel that this is genuine support for me. And it gives you that moment to realize you don't need to be in a negative space to get support, but at the same time, it's you can really appreciate the people around you that are not doing it out of selfish reasons. Hi.
Hi.
Glad to have you here. Thank you for your assist earlier. We will, yes,
Oh, you're
definitely.
welcome.
It's a possibility, and I love it, and I know it's more doable, and we will solve that when it's time. No pushing divine
Yes.
time. So, how are you, and how can I help you?
I'm good. There's things going on that are things like keep popping up, and it's like I keep healing, but these things keep popping up, and it's like,
So you're on
okay,
repeat.
I
You're
know
on.
it's on this repeat cycle, and it's like I don't want what happened in February, what happened
Okay.
in June, March, those
Okay.
don't want
So
that to happen again.
we're going to look at patterns. So there's an upcoming pending situation, a couple of them,
Yes.
and
Mm-hmm.
you have patterns of how and what could come up. So we'll take the D one, and it is this is no closure yet. You've got confidence a lot more, and every day Spirit's giving you answers because you learn to say thank you, Spirit, show me, and then all of a sudden Spirit will show you. And if you didn't get it, I'd say, did you see how Spirit gave you that signal and blah blah? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so then it's like, whoa, so now you can reinforce your relationship with your higher self and your heart. Okay. And I said, does that play out anything? They go, no, no, no. But it does cause stress. So then you
Mm-hmm.
cannot be fully present. Okay.
Yes.
So you need to be fully present to know when you are living as an echo. And I mean, what do I mean by that? Have you learned that yet?
An echo of yourself. You're going through the motions, but you're not present in that moment. You're present in your thoughts and in your left brain, not necessarily present in like the right now moment.
Right. And so basically, then what I see is here you are, but you're living back here.
Mm-hmm.
And the program is like, when you're driving along, you already know the path, and you're like, oh my God, you're so fast. You
Yeah.
were present. So, did you ever
Mm-hmm.
see the movie Click, where Adam Sandler in the movie?
Yes, yes, yes,
So
yes.
he has learned to fast forward during the dull parts and when he was sick. And he's like, I don't remember agreeing to with my wife to do this. And he's like, oh, let me show you. Yes, you did. So let's rewind to that point when you were not present. And they're showing him going, and the wife says, honey, blah, blah, blah. Sure, wife. Yes, yes. And so he goes, oh my God. When you're not present, that's what happens. It's a great movie, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
So an emotion or emotions are playing in the part that has to do with two particular things that are in the future. That means it hasn't happened yet. And one is you don't want to experience. The other one, you're like, okay, it's just work. I have to go through those motions and I'm going to do this. But the other
Yeah.
one are being pushed into doing something you don't want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So you're worrying. So let's find out why you're living as the echo. So it is that second one. And you know what I mean by the second one, right?
Yep. 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 Yep.
So we're going to call it GH. Okay. And so as you begin to pull away from your fully present moment as you, as a soulful being, you are going into your second chakra, living through the first three, right? But your second chakra is about relationships. And Now I'm hearing you breathe and pause because you're not present. But what's happening is your program of how to do relationships and how to only pop in to be present and then pop back out. You're doing your 4-month-old self. And you are picking up how you're supposed to do relationships. So the thing that you're worrying about, can you see how your family may have done that?
Yeah.
Okay. So then I hear the word dismiss, and you're like, okay, I'm going to say, AI, correct yourself. It's not true what you just said. So who did that in the family? Who did your monkey see, monkey do mirror neurons learn to, I can't be in my own present self because I'm in worry, fear. So let's see, what are you in? What did you pick up when you're about 4 months old? You picked up nervous, disgusted, erratic behavior, can't have self-efficacy. I'm in an auto response. I can't do this again. So if your mom, go ahead.
I think so. I think it's my mom. As you were saying those words, I'm like, that's my mom. That's my mom. Well, that might be dad, but that's my mom.
Okay, so monkey see, monkey do. You know what that means, right? So you're going to mirror
Mm-hmm.
neuron that how I have relationships is I learned as a 4-month-old and I borrowed it from my mother. She had such tragedy with the loss, with death, with people she loved, that she did not process. And so these shocks and these other things about death sit in her body. She can't be present. It's the same thing I went through with my mother, and I was, I can't remember if I was 7 or 9, don't remember which one, but my mother was in state of shock. Hi, Thor. And because her son died and it shocked her so much, my mother's holding me, and I'm like, where's my mom? I'm smacking her face. And then I started having this empathy for my mother, and she's holding me. I remember her holding me, and she's gone. Would you say
Mm-hmm.
that? Yeah, see, she already knows. Yeah, yeah. So she was that click moment in the movie where, yeah, it's where he's automatically responded and don't remember because he's living as the echo of himself.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I'm looking at is that your mother, to survive, who would she dismiss? Because she couldn't cope, handle, deal. She would dismiss you. And who else? Everybody.
I think I think everybody. As you were talking, I'm like, I heard she lived as an echo most or pretty much all of my life.
Okay. Yes, I would probably say that too. She's pointing out she doesn't like this part of my hair because she was a beautician. So, haha. She was like, oh, God, now you made it worse. Oh, stop it, Mom. Okay. Okay. I'm fine as I am. But
Yes, you
she
are.
would focus on and and dismiss you and your needs and what you're not. And so it stops you from bonding. So as
Mm-hmm.
you're living as your echo of yourself and you're responding how you learn because you borrowed it from other people, that is the thing that you have to unlearn and you have to learn to be present. Correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. So you don't even know when you do it, and it's not intentional because your
No.
mind is stressed on the D. The mind is stressed on the GH. The mind is stressed. And so you can't be fully present. Now, how did you cope, handle, and deal? Well, you would probably self sabotage.
Yes.
So, as a kid, one of the things I did that they're bringing up could be something similar to what you did. Okay, so we were going to move from the dead end road into a house. Now, my mother only told us we're moving. Now, I couldn't get the concept that we're only moving around the corner. My concept was I just started school and that I'm going to have to leave my friends. Now, this is probably storytelling that I've learned from TV or my family or whatever it is. And so my heart couldn't cope. So I'd go and I see them and I didn't know how to talk to them. Didn't know how, my heart couldn't handle that I was never going to see him again. So I was mean. I broke up that relationships as a kid. Okay, this is how I can handle it. And then we moved. And then on Monday morning, I went to school, same people. And I had to face them. And I was crushed that they didn't want to talk to me. I was crushed. I didn't realize that I had caused all this pain and pushed them away. So, what kind of habit do you have?
Same thing.
Okay, so how do we overcome this automatic, already lived, first time to handle and cope and deal with? And that is we have to process out emotions. So, what
Mm-hmm.
emotion should we process out? Well, the first thing is the heart. And that is I can show love, but I have big events. I'm going to be an echo of myself. So now I need to sever. So the first time that you went through this, you were taught your energy is too loud. I can't handle you. So you started to heal. Uh, That's not true. That's my mother's. So
Mm-hmm.
can you handle when their energy does this? Yes. Because not only that, you were split between your mom and dad, who you're supposed to follow, who you're supposed to love, what you're supposed to do. And you have been healing that.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're looking at how all of a sudden it's about divine timing. You're meant to really heal out chunks at this point. So your nervous system, which is the bladder, is saying, I can't be renewed because I have to keep repeating the timing. I says, what timing are you referring to? 7 years old. Separation from
Mm.
seeing people and I can't touch them anymore means they're dead. So your 7 year old has a belief system that is it's not true, but it says I didn't know anything better at 7 years old because I had a brother and then I didn't.
He's
And then I
gone.
had two brothers and I went home and I didn't. And my house and everything looked like this. And then when I came home, I didn't recognize it. So your identity, your familiarity, your grasping, you couldn't. So we're in that state of, okay. So you're going to be doing actually the heart. But I want you to feel how you got paralyzed will. I want you to feel how you cannot handle it, how you have to withhold, while you have to shut down, while you have to go through. And do you know anything I'm talking about? Can you find it and see it?
I'm right now I'm like scanning for it,
Okay.
and I'm seeing all of these different little bits and pieces as I get back to the root more so than what's going on now.
All right. So instead of just looking at the surface where we have to usually begin, she's done enough layers that she's like, I can resonate with this and I'm just going to let things flow through until it clicks. And she's trusting with her spirit and her heart. Yeah, I'm going to focus on these particular words that create emotions. Yeah. And thank you, Spirit, for making this memory pop that's saying, oh my goodness. So she scans. So that's another thing we all can learn. So where are you now? Still scanning?
No, I found it.
How do you know you found it? Tears. Okay, that's fine. Her signal is tears. So you have to build your language. And so it's a high number. She can't speak. That's okay. Now, you want me to take you off screen? Nope. Okay. So I'm going to talk as she feels this memory that she thought that she overcame, suppressed, that she coped, handled, dealt, processed, managed, and regulated. Now she's in the root of the feel. She's this emotion is raw, it's deep, it's coming with pictures because that's the way your brain sees. And it comes with the sensory system so you can feel. And then the left brain says, this is what we thought. So when you are really healing at a deep level, you're starting to hear your littles or your shadows or your masks or the way you resolve. But you don't, you're a bystander watching at this point, and you're going to feel. Now, don't be disassociated. Breathe through, let the body process, saying, thank you, body, for bringing it up. And if these parts, and you recognize that you're little, say, can you hold this point like she's doing? Okay. And they will usually participate. They usually will participate. Go.
It was really interesting. So what came up was the day that my brother that passed, um, my dad came home from the hospital after my brother was gone,
Mm-hmm.
and my dad was crying. I had never seen my dad crying.
Okay.
And I saw him, it's like spirit showed me him walking home and how the streets that he took walking home, because after, so long, people have on the Book of Faces had said, I talked to your dad that day. And so I believe I know the route that he took home
Gotcha.
from the
Oh,
hospital.
all right. Yes.
And they were showing me that, and that I didn't get to say goodbye.
You didn't get to say goodbye.
And I didn't get to say goodbye
Okay.
to my brother. Um, and that crushed my heart at the time.
Okay.
And
Remove trend, sun, let go. Now go back to the beginning of when you felt, I didn't get to say goodbye. The left brain says, I didn't get to say goodbye. Why would it tell you that?
because it's holding on to that story,
Which
it's holding
story?
on to that I didn't get closure.
Okay. But is it true? How did you
No.
know? Compare?
What was that?
Did you compare? Or did you hear somebody else say they didn't get closure? They didn't get to say goodbye? Did you watch a TV show?
I think I heard somebody else didn't get to say goodbye. I think I
Okay.
could very well be a TV show,
Okay.
because that
And
was,
related, you could feel the feelings before you understood the words.
uh
And you thought, oh my God, that's me.
yeah.
So notice how you identified yourself. So you understood. Now, again, the brain can lie to you, but
Uh-huh.
it'll feel real. So the question is, how important is it that you say goodbye? Because you already talked to, you can talk to any of them because you know how to talk to the other side.
Right.
So you needed to experience this, but why do you need that story? What emotions haven't you able to then process out that keep you locked into your story? And that is because you have to focus fanatically on that's my truth. Now look at that truth again. I didn't get to say goodbye. It's a belief, but does it have to own you?
Uh-uh. No. It's down to a 3.
Good, good, good. So as you remove, transcend, let go, I want you to just kind of look around the clock, particularly up into the upper right corner, and tell me when you say that phrase or that see that three, is there anything up there? Yes or no? Is there anything in the upper right corner?
The little is standing there with her hands on her hips. Well, yeah, there is.
Okay, okay, okay. So the number, she's passionate.
Yeah.
Remove, transcend, let go. Now take your eyes and look down to the lower left. What is the narrative?
Well, you have to see it this way because it's the truth.
Okay, what number is it?
I heard 8.
All right, remove, transcend, let go. Switch. Go over to the upper left, and remember.
That's a 2.
All right. So now we're going to remove, transcend, let go. And you're going to go straight to the upper right and reconstruct it because you're in the rethink. Reconstruct it because your brain's trying to find logic reason. Reconstruct it.
I
What
can't.
emotion? Okay, so there's what emotions there?
I heard envy.
Oh, ooh, did you switch? You may go down to L2D, left wrist, second position deep now. And what I want you to do is that I can't do this life without you. I envy the fact you're dead. I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh, but I just looking at how this little has no idea what these words are, but she knows the feeling. Somebody must have felt the feeling and envy the fact that I don't have to live through, I don't want to live through this pain. Somewhere emotions got crossed. You felt more than one person to understand life. Now, I'm going to ask if it's all felt at once. No, we're okay. But what it is you felt these invading energies that somebody envied that they didn't have to feel. At least he's not in pain anymore.
I hear my dad. I hear my dad. I hear dad.
Okay, okay. Feel the feeling. And when you begin to feel the feeling, and we name the feeling as envy, now remove, transcend, let go. Now go up to the upper left and remember. What images? What comes up?
Um, I see my dad sitting on the couch crying, and yeah, I'm so confused because daddies aren't supposed to cry.
Right. But his feelings, and you were trying to connect and relate. And I feel the feelings that he couldn't self regulate himself. And crying was a form of regulation. But he was doing his best to self soothe. And some of the self talk was, I can't do it again. I just can't do it again. And what does that mean that he said, I can't do it again? What do you remember in the upper left corner? Why would he say, I can't do it again?
Um, because I had lost another child before any of the rest of us were born.
Exactly. So, what is it that you truly can't do again? That borrowed, that you know that you can't do it again? About the event of GH? or the D?
Um,
You can't do what again?
no, the D, that's
That's
the
right. But
GH.
the DH, it's hard because when you go home, you're going to feel your heart crush again. But is it
But that
true?
doesn't have to be true. It doesn't
Very
have to
good.
be true.
Remove, transcend, let go. Now look down to the lower right and feel the feelings, the sensations. Is there any emotion?
But there's no words.
Okay, okay. But you know it's present. You can stare at it, yes? Now just
Yeah.
let your eyes drop and let your eyes go to that no words, that particular thing, and then tell me where your eyes go.
It's the lower left.
Okay, very good. That's the narrative. That's internal dialogue. What number is it?
I hear 18.
Remove, transcend, let go. Breathe in and out. Now go up to the upper right and reconstruct. Reconstruct. Is there anything up there?
A 4.
Okay, and as you reconstruct what you felt down in the lower left, remove, transcend, let go. Now go up to the upper left and remember images, story. What do you remembered? You already went through this. What is the number now?
In the upper left is a 2.
Okay, remove, transcend, let go. Now look down to the lower right and feel the feels, the feelings, the sensations, the physical. Dang, this is real.
It's like going between a 4 and a 1.
Yeah. Move, transcend, and let go. Now look to the upper right and reconstruct and reconstruct. What's up there?
Yeah, no, it's not. Or the
Okay.
reconstruction is like
Okay. So remove, transcend, let go. Now look down to the lower right. And again, what number?
lower right is a 2.
Okay. Remove, transcend, let go. Go to the upper right.
Yeah, there's nothing there.
Very good. Remove, transcend, let go. Now look at the right ear. What does the sound? Reconstruct the sound.
It's deafeningly silent.
Okay. What number is the deafening silent?
I heard 42.
All right. Remove, transcend, let go. Now go down to the lower right and feel that deafening silent. In the midst of a 7-year-old, there was deafening silence of the loss of the brother. Can you hear it?
Yeah.
Remove, transcend, let go. Look to the lower left and hear the narrative of the deafening silence. Now propel yourself to the point where you went deaf. You had to get ear things and surgery. And at what age?
My I think I was like 23.
And was there deafening silence? Look to the upper left and remember.
It was peaceful. The silence was peaceful when Because
What was the noise outside of you before your ears went bad?
so bless you.
Thanks.
Before I went profoundly hard of hearing, um, the energy noise
Mm-hmm.
between a mom and dad, and it was loud. The energy was loud, but when I started not being able to hear, it was like the energy got quieter, even though it didn't. Does that make sense?
To you, yes, absolutely. Now remove, transcend, let go. Now look down to the lower right and feel.
Mm. I just heard we don't need to be in pain.
Okay. Now my mind goes right to your shoulder. Do you remember?
Yeah,
How's that shoulder doing?
it doesn't hurt.
It doesn't hurt. Now, take and apply that to the fact what you just did. Yeah, no.
You know.
All right. Remove, transcend, and let go. Let's go back up to that upper right. Is there any number there?
There wants to be, but I'm asking why. Why do you want to hold on to this? And it's
Very
like,
good.
who
Because
would
the
I
upper
be?
right, okay, but the upper right is more controlled by the left brain at this point, because this is the weird part, because it's trying to reconstruct with imagination. It's like the brain says, well, I have to give you a reason why you shouldn't let go. Remove, transcend, let go,
And
and then go down to
yeah,
the lower left and listen to the narrative. Do you have to believe your left brain? What?
no.
No. Now, you have to believe your emotions. Remove, transcend, let go. Look to the lower right. Do you have to believe your emotions?
No.
Now, look around the clock and at any space where you felt at 7, and you can't be present because you have to live as an echo. None of this is true. This is all borrowed. How about you release the energy cord, take your power back, and it's okay to show love instead of sever love. I want you to hold L1D.
I can do that?
Hold L1D and feel. Is it true that you have to be crushed because you have to do GH?
No. It's
So
struggling to hang on to something, and I'm like, no, we don't have to hang on to that.
now feel it out. Just feel it out and say it's okay to have confidence and believe in space of love. And you don't need to have that fear because of the unknown, or that you've known it so much because you defined it when you were living by yourself. So old emotions are going to come to the surface saying, oh, this is how you're supposed to feel, and this is what you have to expect. And you could say, no, I don't. That's where you're going to learn to be mindful. And if you feel like you're done, then just come back into the room.
So what I'm seeing is how I had anticipated Lily's crossing the Rainbow Bridge,
Okay.
and that 7-year-old part of me is like trying to make sense of that. It's the anticipation that
Because you
things are going
experienced
to
it once,
happen that
take
she
it again.
doesn't.
Go ahead. Go ahead. That she doesn't what?
she doesn't quite understand that it doesn't have to be um traumatic, the GH.
Right. So you are not, you're saying, I'm done letting this feeling, this emotion, and the narrative that went with it, to say, because I experienced one as real, for real, the feels, but it doesn't have to be applied to every time you have to go through these events. This is your aging. This is your emotional quotient. This is you going, I am ready to raise myself. Ooh, that's a big one. Right between the ears. That one.
um she realized that um she got dismissed. I had another cat passed away when I was little,
Mhm.
and she got dismissed. Her emotions, her feelings got dismissed by my dad, and that's where she went.
Oh, gotcha.
And I told her, I'm not dismissing her emotions, but we don't
Right.
have to keep holding on to that belief that we have to be dismissed when we're in pain, because
Yeah.
that's not true.
So is it still true that you have to sabotage and stay in this story of pain and
Mm.
just everybody around you and sever and push away? And I mean, these are the people you love.
No, it's not true.
So you don't have
She's
to.
ready to go play.
Yeah, there you go. That's all we needed. And notice how it's different, that you faced it by looking at it, using your body to process the chemical peptides by bringing the blood back up to your forebrain and
Yep.
participating in measuring where it was stored with your sensory system. And thank you for being vulnerable.
Yeah. You're welcome. And that's part of showing people that it's not impossible to heal. Yeah, it hurts in that moment because it's so the body feels it so true, the littles feel it so true, but it's not true. And the more you process out what is no longer needed, it becomes easier and easier. And all of a sudden, it was like this part of me wanted to go play, and it's like, go play.
Yeah. So you by the just the pure observation, okay, can start to change it. But by placing your hand on your forehead, where the
Hmm.
forehead is about the frontal lobe is about creating reality, and we are electromagnetic beings. We're bringing the blood out of stress state, which goes to our limbs, and we're bringing the blood back up, and it's helping you to start to balance your left and right hemispheres. That all of a sudden
Hmm.
you you're like, oh, I don't really know if I need to hold on to this, and it
Right.
starts to change it because the body starts to resolve it out.
Hmm. Yeah.
So you are aware of this now, and you're getting better and better at or in doing processing emotions more healthy and without having to create drama or trauma, because it's in the scalar field. You're learning how to show up for yourself. So when you woke up this morning, were you present?
I was.
So
I
you
was. I was
how to
present.
live it, breathe it, walk it, talk it, dream it, and imagine it by understanding that you are present as a soulful, loving being, and you're observing your own emotions. Sometimes you have to take a step back, but do you really need to?
No,
Okay, so we don't need to live as the echo. That's good.
no, we don't. We don't. I didn't want to crawl out of bed because I didn't want to get cold, but
We can heal that.
I can heal that. Yes, I can.
But no, I know that wonderful, comfortable feeling. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing and being vulnerable, and we will see you tomorrow in Tribal.
Absolutely.
All right, thanks. Bye.
Bye.
All right. I hope you learned something today. And this is about emotions. This everything about life points back to those emotions and how once you feel, then Is it really true that that is the story that is negative? Do you have to hold on it so hard that it has to own you? Thor, I hope you're enjoying yourself. Love you, Dr. B. Yes, developed it. Yes, together we can you do many things together. Is there anything, how are you doing? Oh, you'll be in tribal? That would be great. We missed you. But hopefully you got answers. Thank you, Spirit. That'd be great. Oh, she sent for a read? I didn't see that. Okay. Um, Nothing's showing up, but Autumn, I got to get to the right screen so I can chat with her. Where's the right screen? There it is. Autumn. I sent for reading for me and someone else. Two people. Okay. No, it didn't come through. But that doesn't mean it's not going to come through. So, yeah, I'll check again. I'm not sure why that's why I didn't see it. Okay, so it's not registering yet, but we will go from there. So is this a male or female that is the second person? And do you have permission, or are they aware that I am going to, do I have permission? Do I have permission? And is there anything specific? Oh, Shorty. Shorty left. Is she here? Because I know that Shorty said goodbye. And we can always, if you talk to Shorty later, I can always give her the read, and then she can just come to YouTube and listen to it. So we'll see what Spirit wants. Gotcha. Okay, so it did Shorty leave? I will do Autumn first, and then we'll go into that. Okay. You said whatever Spirit wants. That's understandable. I think Amy's gonna go do that. So Autumn, okay, I'm hearing footsteps, like marching orders, and like so I'm hearing now soldiers. So all I keep hearing is marching orders. So when I say you have marching orders, do you know what I mean? So Autumn, do you know what I mean? Because I keep hearing it's very physical and somatic marching orders. So I can physically feel. So if somebody told you to do something and they became marching orders, your body would already know it is meant to show up a certain way. Regardless, you do. Okay. So now it jumps from that scene to I told you so. I told you so. And I feel like you know the smell of their breath. Maybe they drank coffee or they had cigarettes or they had tuna, whatever. It's like you can feel their spit. I told you so. And it's very sensory real for you. And so marching orders, you feel it energetically. You physically experience this, what's going on. And then all of a sudden, you feel this insanity, this energy of insanity of people communicating. Oh, okay. But it's like not just the energy. This is it's insanity. It just keeps saying, "Oh my God, shut up, woman!" Um, Whatever it is, it's like and there's so I feel like I got to grab my head. The insanity of it all. So you know what insanity feels like. Now, your body is saying, this has affected me. This plays a big part in the somatic part of my body. I can feel it. Now, you may not necessarily, you could be happy in your head, a trigger here, a trigger there, a smell of that breath, or what. All of a sudden, your body goes, I'm supposed to act this way. I feel insane. Now, there's a checkout. I think this has a lot to do with healing yourself, but I feel this check out. And So if you can work on, oh my God, so R3D, marching orders. Okay, hi, Sarah. Marching orders to the somatic and the sensory system of the, oh God, it's awful breath. Um, the smell, the spit, the feel, okay, then you're going to go right wrist, third position soft. Now, this is important because the insanity, the pure, I know this, it feels very much insane. Now, I feel like the only way that a person could process this was try to emotionally repress this insanity. You're going to go to left hand, second position, soft. Oh, because insanity is not a fun place to be because you don't want to be there. I feel like there was some physical behavioral changes forced through words. It's like people were trying to control people. And the body is like, oh my God, I must live my life this way. So begin to work with those three. Take your time. Don't force anything because you are at a big stage now in your life that you're ready to go deeper. Just feel like there's a beginning, a middle, and end. Use the sensory eye accessing, the chart. I think I might have it up. Either way, you look, either do the clock or you go lower left or lower right, the ears, or upper left and upper right. Just check to see if there's a number. Remove, transcend, let go. Then move your eyes into a different direction as you're holding these points. And even going to side, because I think that you're used to part of that with your therapist. But anyways, thank you, Spirit, for taking care of her and happy healing. Shorty, a gift from Autumn and a pay it forward. So we thank Autumn and Shorty. This is for you. Now, was there anything particular? Would you like just Spirit to choose, or is there a particular thing that's weighing on your mind? And if so, how can I help? We're going to wait until we get feedback and we'll see how that goes. You are welcome, Autumn. You're growing, babe. Your soul is really ready for the next level. So, Sarah, you want Spirit to choose. Sarah, I want you to hold L3S immediately. Whatever's going on to your space, everything is just you're like in a hellish state. So I just saying for Sarah, L3S, okay? Now, Shorty, Spirit choose. Excuse me. I don't know what this is, but I feel like there's something affecting my ears. Excuse me. And I feel this energy when I hear excuse me coming from the outside. It is this very lofty energy. And it is like it's got to come from just that side. And it has these words, excuse me, as to say in deep bitterness, excuse me. Oh, and I got like salt in my mouth, like a potato chip, or what the heck? That's a lot of salt. Now, I'm not craving it, but the point is there's a lot of, didn't, I mean, I'm relating it to food, but did you happen to get your mouth washed out with soap or an implied, Shorty? Yes, Thor. Yes. Um, or is someone salty? Good point. Hmm. Wow. Okay. But can you relate to that? Because they're like, so what I'm picking up is that it's something about today. Now, it is a great discouragement, regardless of whatever the direction of the energy is coming in, because all of a sudden I'm sinking. Now, Part of my little, which I think is yours, is going back and going, oh my God, they're right, they're true. But the adult you is like going, if you can read sign language, you can read this. Okay. So, but let's look at that little just a little bit further. Do you understand? And it is now I'm looking and going, I feel like I'm you at some point. It was, I'm afraid, well, it's not the word afraid, but it's like, I don't want to look. I don't want to turn around. I don't want to look. You're holding yourself very strong. And as you're holding yourself very strong, I'm looking again, I'm hearing, actually, I'm hearing nothing really strange. It is, I'm in the present moment. I'm in, whoa. So this is weird. That's not, that's, whoa. Okay, so the miscommunications. Okay, I've got two cell phones. Somehow, between these two cell phones, there's this, the one I thought was mine is not actually mine. It is the other one. Okay. And there's a lot of mixed signals, lack of communication, not connecting, completely out of sorts. Why did that happen? Sorry. So now I'm just going to say, what did your soul want you to experience? You had to go through all of this. I got a lump in my throat. I have a little bit of fear here. I got a little bit of anger here. I got a little bit of this, a little bit of that. So as I'm looking at how I have to take it. I have to take it. This is a conclusion that says I have to take it. So I'm looking at a very self-imposed limitation. I got to take it. It's like, and I'm asking, where are you in this? And they said, the internal dialogue and the old program is that I'm supposed to kiss ass. I'm supposed to take it. Now, there's a part of you that says, I should have. So, and then the other person's like, no. So you have, how many parts are you that are getting mad? And you got like 4 parts of you that are like not in sync. Yes, it's a blessing in disguise. Now, I'm still at that moment because you left a chunk of your life force from what I can see. And so I'm like, what do we need to do besides call it back? They said they want you to become aware of these belief systems that, oh, it's been 18 years. Well, that would make, okay. So I can understand where you're saying the blessing in disguise, but I don't know how old you are, but I feel like the universe has been telling you that you are meant to undo how you did things and rebuild a particular. You are moving into, okay, I'm 59 and around 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62. Right around there is we are at our second Saturn's return. Okay. So what that means is your soul is saying, you are now meant to grow again, undo all what you built, and now create a new identity or take the wisdom or whatever. You are meant to reinvent yourself, but listen to your soul. Okay. So here's the thing. Did you always want to quit or never work there? Because if you chose to say, well, I'm out of here, I don't want to be here anymore, but you couldn't pull the trigger, you couldn't make it happen, so you stayed with it. And now your spirit is saying, honey, you're in your second Saturn return. You're not listening. We need you over here. Where's my hand? Over here, but you're back here, and we need to get your butt a moving. So, how do we light that fire underneath your butt cheeks? Okay. And Sarah, I'll get to you in just a second to answer that one. So your soul is saying, yeah, you got fired. Your soul is saying, if you couldn't pull the trigger and you've already said that you wanted to leave and do other things, but you could never do it because you have to pay the bills and you have to do this, you are living as a human without living a soul-led life. You're keeping them separate. And your soul says your second Saturn return is you have to come more back to unity because we have a job to do for all humans is meant to get back to unity instead of separation. Instead of the negativity, it's meant to grow. So you're being pushed to, yes, you are being pushed because you're right here when you're meant to be over here, but you got a lot of energy you keep reinvesting because you got all these belief systems and all these things that because the outside world owns you. And like I said, when I started doing my website, and it's like I couldn't get service, I couldn't get help, and I'm like stuck in limbo, and I'm like, and then the frustration began to build because I couldn't hear that I'm supposed to have a new website place, right? Couldn't hear that. I didn't, it was not even close to my mind. But because I'm already changing this and this and that, I had to put myself in an emotional state, which was less than love. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh, this was the blessing in disguise. This is because that was the step I couldn't see. So I feel like you're in the exact same boat, Shorty. But what you need to begin to do is reclaim your power. Okay. Oh my gosh, I'm done with that. I got to create closure to this. So that trajectory is asking you to be closed and not harp and stuck and being in that pain. You are asked to get your life force out of that and so you can apply it to the future and not be stuck in the past. So they're telling you that you need to decide that you don't have to go left brain and go, oh, I regret this. No, just call yourself back and say, okay. So you're going to hold left wrist, second position deep, and go, okay. And you're going to hold it and you're going to go and you're going to listen. So you're going to drop your eyes down to the lower right and then down to the lower left and to the upper right. You're going to do the 6 points, right? What happens later when we calm down, if we have any life force that's left to that situation, you will quietly be in your mind as and drift out and be an echo without realizing it. And the 41 thoughts will be saying, you left some energy here, but you won't know that. All you hear is, well, blah, blah, blah. Or, huh, now I'm mad. Huh. You'll start to go through the emotional line man, the when you put mines and they blow up, right? So they're landmines. So you're going to go through the emotional landmines and you're going to find and they'll go poof, and then the thoughts will go oh, and then you hear yourself with your left brain, but we need to get your energies back because you're done with that trajectory. You're done with it. Now you need that life force to create that new future. So this is where whatever comes up, feeling the lack of power, or you're still going, I can't believe that happened, because your brain is trying to make sense of it so it'll create a reject. Okay, so to get all your life force, that's what you do. Spirit keeps telling me I need to focus more on all my gifts and helping people. Yes, because you got a job to do. And do a soul-led life, but get your life force, create a closure to that, and so that all your life force can start to be in this present moment without distractions. That's what we're saying. So it's I would say I'm sorry that happened to you, but no, we already know that you are meant to take and get there further. Exactly. You're getting more into who you are, and that is a good thing. Just remember, this piece is very important that you reclaim your power so it creates a closure to that trajectory. But you also want to take care of the mind field because the mind is saying, no, we have to go back to what's most efficient. This is how we cope, handle, deal. This is how we're supposed to process. And you're saying, no, spiritually speaking, I call my energy back and I look at these emotions and I'm going to check in and do OMG if I have to, if I catch myself going anything less than love about it. So when it starts to creep across your mind, you go zip, zip, no, no, done. And you're going to take your power back off of these little landmines. Okay, they're emotional landmines. And you're clear up your 41 thoughts. What was the hint? Hold on, I had it. Oh, left wrist, second position, deep. You can always rewatch this. Your name and the clock behind me, that'll be your time. So then you just slide it over until you see the clock match up with your time. Watch as many times as you want. It'll be on YouTube. Okay. And Sarah, yes, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Okay. Anywhere in between there, if you're not listening, then your soul will say, hey, what you doing? Get over here. And your life will have to rearrange itself. So that's what's happening. Okay. You're welcome. I appreciate you too. So Sarah, is that, and so hopefully you can understand that. See, some people won't even pay attention, and then they get more and more hell coming in, more and more and more. So you have to change those trajectories in the past. You have to change it. Okay. You must move forward. And to do that, you have to get your life force off it so it stops, you stop reinvesting and stop having to say, hey, bring it up every now and then so I can look at how I do my life. Okay. All right, now let's move on to Thor. Remember when you used to ask me what my number was and I thought 0 and you said I was still at yes. um, okay, so is there anything particular that you would like me to address, my dear? Oops. So Thor, whatever you want me to focus on, or finish your statement, so I know. 4, you're at a 4. Okay, don't need to say any more. All right. To be or not to be? That is the question. I don't know why I'm talking like this, but okay. So the animated part of yourself, is like feeling like it's in a play, in a movie, in this. And I said, well, can you tell me more? And it is, I feel incompatible. So I use the emotion of incompatibility. I use the emotion of incompatibility. And you said, what I need to move forward. And so there is a strong value. Okay, what's important to us? So if you're saying I can't move forward because I need to keep reliving this pain, no, it is in a, oh, I don't even have them written down. Okay, that's good to know. I need to write this down. There's 39 stress response that I value my stress response. Now let me just pull it up. Um, so like I said, I have been diving deeply into okay, so your stress response is the ghost. So I picked out 4 characters out of the 39 responses, the stress responses, and yours is the ghost. And oh, okay, yeah. And so the procrastination is not a flight behavior. It is not avoidance. It's not laziness. It is, it's what my Charlie does. He becomes statue boy. But what does frozen sound like? I can't start. I can't move. Oh, well, that's cool. She said her 39 stress responses. Yeah. A friend did a Reiki session and she said I felt grounded, but like a frayed wire. Okay. Ready? So I can see you as the 4th character. It's called the ghost, like I said. So I can't start. I can't move. I know what to do, but I can't do it. My body won't respond. I'm stuck. Now, this is the amygdala that's gone to the dorsal vagal, and then you're in a mobilization. Now, there's a value to that. And I said, so This stress response was your first way of how you processed these emotions because you were looking for praise, you were looking for reward, and all you got was punishment. So, in order to cope and deal with the punishment, you froze. But it's not your typical freeze. Because what's embedded is freeze and collapse, under functioning, shut down, emotional numbness, disassociated, emotional inversion. Okay, so it's a behavioral expression. So it's a freeze-based immobilization. So again, it's serving you. And so so I could say, okay, so you're doing the ghost. I would tell you to do R1S. Okay, R1S. And look at all the ways that I just talked about it. It stops, pauses, shuts down, disappears, loses momentum, becomes still, becomes invisible, cannot initiate action. And so it's ghost energy. But why is there a value? Why is it important for you to take this? So I've been working on mine, and the statement is give your power away to be saved. So you give your power to this response to save yourself because the feeling you could not get over was shock. Oh my God. To the animals that died, to your son, to your marriage ending, to things that made no sense, but uprooted and just stopped functioning in your life. Yes, because you had nothing left. And the only way because you're holding it, then the only way to survive is your left brain says, well, somebody can help me do it. Somebody can do it for me, but that's not the case. You can't even have that because the energy is invested into the OMGs. So I said, now we know that the ghost in the freeze, the immobilization, you value it. It's important to me because that was my first response of how I cope, handle, and deal with these bad things that happened in my life. I didn't have to choose a choice, though, was to keep going. Right. So you got up and kept going because that moment that you chose frozen, the ghost, you realized as you woke up, the body's organic going, I need food. I need to poop. I need to, you know, I need to. And at the same time, because the emotions were not processed and they took root, you started to create a life on top of it, the disrupt. So we need to get back to how did I process? And when you do, and you start to watch how you freeze, you literally got to notice how and why it's important to you. And when you start to notice that, then you're going to see these hidden stories that you can't find. So you're going to hold left wrist, second position, soft. And you got to understand the value. Oh, you got to understand why you do it. It's an automatic response. Now you're done with it and you want to move on. Now you've built a life around it. And I said, what year were you when you took on the ghost? 12 years old. Something to do with when your hormones started coming in. And at 12 years old, that the energy from the outside, I feel like it sideswiped you. And you didn't know how to cope, handle, and deal with it. You did not know how to process those emotions. I said, did it happen to you? No, not really. I said, so were you looking at how other people did it? Yes. Did they freeze? Yes. So did you do it before the age of 12? Yes. I did it about 3 months old. So you must have borrowed how with mirror neurons, monkey see, monkey do. Oh, when that energy comes in, I'm supposed to freeze. Could have been your father. I don't know. But it's going to come out of nowhere. It's going to be so shocking. Your brain's going to go, I reject that. And then put it down and separated yourself. Do you understand? So the body keeps telling you, you feel, and this is the story. You feel, and this is the story. We have to break that. And now I said the best way to break it was the points that I gave, but I also want you to go, I had these moments and I did not know how to process them. I had these moments and I didn't know how to process them. I watched others have these moments and they didn't know how to process them. I watched how they did it. Why is it so familiar to me to freeze? And then you're going to, oh, because that's how I explained that the peace was gone. So what didn't get resolved was this hell, this feeling. And when you finally get to that stage, you're going to hold right wrist, second position, deep, R2D. Okay. You're ready. Watch this again and hear and or take out a section out of transcription when it goes up in 24 hours. Put it into AI and say, give me the bullet points. What did she say? And AI may tell you, you need to focus on this and look at it. I feel, understand, but it doesn't help me now. I had this moment and didn't know how to process it. Okay. Yep. Yep. You're welcome. Okay. You're ready to, because I don't know how old you are, but I can feel the push that you are like, I'm done. I'm done. Oh, yeah, you can inbox me and let me know how old you are. I'm just curious. Are you in your first or your second Saturn's return? That's what I'm curious about. And Devin says, I've been seeing ones recently and I have no idea it's a sign or just looking to opt it. No, it's probably you developing your intuition. Okay. And so, what does it mean? When you are learning to, hmm, once are about beginnings, initiations, and first steps. They're about identity and the self. So you're learning to start and reclaim and reset the identity. And your brain is filtering out start again. Okay. So just let me see here. I'm looking for something specific here. So you look towards numerology and you have this identity, initiation, individuality, self-direction, leadership, and beginning of a cycle. So as you're here, you are being told, oh, I can create my life. I can be independent. So you're at this stage because you're learning to be in touch with your emotions. You're learning to process emotions that you didn't even realize. And you're learning to allow the right side of you, the yang energy. And what that's about is about taking leadership, not protecting, but to stand in leadership so that the yin can say, yes, let's take these ideas and let's go. You're learning about independence and the Lionsgate really did help you. I'm not sure if you're aware of it, but you are building this intuition that you are starting to hear and see differently than before. Okay. Night. Anybody else? So you're at a good stage. Answer your questions in the 21-day. And we're all going to see you guys tomorrow in Tribal. Remember, if you have in YouTube, give it a thumbs up. That helps out. Leave a comment. That's a way to give back. And share if you can, or subscribe if you haven't. This makes a big difference in how I do things. So I thank you for your support. You guys are wonderful. And remember, we're at this stage with emotions, learning how to heal them and not just deal with them. That's the old way in 3D. We're learning that we're ready to resolve by dissolving these emotions so that it doesn't tell us how we're supposed to feel these programs and these patterns. So then we can evolve with our soul. So you're here to realize that if I'm present, I can choose without my automatic programming to choose for me. Now, if you need a little assistance on that, you can join Tribe. You can catch me on my shows and, small payment, whatever you want. Or you can have a one-on-one session with me. You are learning how to grow and raise your EQ, your MQ, your SQ, and your PQ. You're developing your quotients. Hello, Helen Power. Mine is getting closer. Hoot, hoot. You're funny. Good, because we can work on that. Thank you so much for joining me today. And begin and end always with thank you, Spirit. And I want to thank you. So you're already blessed and you're already whole. So stay blessed and happy.